Hopefully I hit the recording button this time because I forgot to press it. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna make an updated video that a lot of you guys may have seen a year ago that I made called Quick and Dirty for EXP leveling. That video got really popular, so I'm gonna make an updated version of that video, seeing as how we got the oil change updates and the EXP curve and the EXP packets all about 5 months ago. So it's settled in, and now people are finding optimal strats into how they want to do the EXP grind and whatnot. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how I prefer doing the EXP leveling nowadays. So I'm not gonna use all brand new information up until like world maybe 9 or so. Everything prior to that is the same as that old video. So if you guys want to know how to do the early game setups from world 1 to like 8 or something, watch that video. This video is gonna cover the last portion of those maps because that's where the oil cap changes has changed. So go ahead, if you guys are starting early game, watch that video. If you guys are pushing into the mid to late game stages of the maps, watch this one. Alright, so first thing is first, I want to highly recommend a lot of people super boost 1 or 2 ships up into 100. This is also bad because it prevents you from, it makes it so you get cog chip dailies. Cog chip dailies can only be done with the level 100 ships. So if you guys have level 100 ships, you may struggle with this. But this will also let you start generating EXP datas. So these right here, now that lecture hall has changed, you get EXP data every couple of minutes, depending on what level they are, for using level 100 ships and up. So you can't generate this EXP data packet right here without using level 100 ships or higher. So I highly recommend, if you guys can, super boost 1 or 2 main fleet and vanguard ships so you can use them in your mob fleet or boss fleet or whatever, preferably mob fleet because you get more EXP that way. And that will help generate you more EXP data packets, and you can use that to level up other ships to speed this up a lot faster. So I highly recommend doing that. And once you're done with that, when you have ships in the 100 zone, you want to start pushing into World 9. So World 9 right here is a good stopping point just for a little bit to get some more EXP on your ships to round things out and make things like easier, but it's also the start of oil efficiency. So 9.1 right here, as you can see from the clearing mode cost, this is a new update that happened about 5 months ago. This makes it so you're allowed to use a full set of fleet and you only have to pay that much oil on that map. This way, it makes it so you save a lot of oil, you get a lot more coins compared to previous maps. Overall, it's way better for majority of the big resources, aside from like some minor things, but it's not that big of an issue. Now, as you guys can see, up until 8.4, it doesn't have this. So what used to be a good map is not that good of a map anymore. 8.4 is really bad. So using my first video, if you guys want to farm from like worlds 1 through 7.2, I highly recommend 7.2 is the last stopping point where you guys want to farm before you push into the oil efficiency maps, or the oil cap maps is what I'm gonna call it. So 7.2, stop here, farm here to like maybe level 90 plus or 100 preferably. Get here, when you're 100 plus, you want to start pushing through world 8, get out world 8, get into 9. So 9 is when you can start running full fleets and you have to pay this much cost to whoever. Overall, this is worth it. It may sound pretty expensive, but trust me guys, you get much more EXP, you get much more coins, and as new players, those are 2 of the biggest resources you guys are going to need, or new to mid game players. You're going to need those a lot. So World 9 is a good place to stop. Whatever map you guys want to farm doesn't really matter. All the gear here is kind of like I'm not a big fan of, so just pick whatever map you guys want to farm. I say 9.1 because it's the easiest, and you can stop there and just like use whatever you guys want. After that, push in a little bit higher. So let's say you're 105 now. I think 100 is more than enough, but just to be safe, 105 ships. Smash that out, get into World 11. Now, World 11 is a pretty good stopping point for most players because 11.1 is one of the, if not the best place for oil per EXP. So I recommend you guys start farming here depending on the ships you use. If you're using like kind of not that powerful ships, maybe 110. Otherwise, 105, 100, even 100 here works really well when it's on safe mode if you're properly equipped. So Here's a good stopping point. You can sit here as long as you guys want. 11.1 is a good place. I would stick around here from 100 plus to 120. Wherever you want to go to is up to you guys. If you guys value that EXP so much, 11.1 is a very good map. Now, past that mark, let's talk about the other stuff. So, aside from a lot of players wanting EXP, they're going to hit the stage of the game where you're going to lack cog chips. Yes, you're going to lack cog chips. So, as of right now, only Worlds 12, 13, and 14 drops cog chips in the campaign. So that means what is the most EXP efficient map, 11.1, is not that great for end game players because you're lacking that cog chips. So 12.1 is what I recommend a lot of people do. You're still in the stage of leveling up ships, a lot of good ships, like you still have some SSR ships you want to max out and whatnot. 12-1 is a good map. You get less coins compared to 12.4, but you get more chances of getting cog chips. There's a slightly more chance of getting it. It's not that big of a difference, but 12.1 is a good map. You do lose out on some coins, but overall, if you're aiming for that end game longevity, you're going to want cog chips. 12.1 is a good map. As for 12.1, you want to run full fleets as well too. Throw whatever ships you guys have. 12.1 for the most part isn't super bad. I recommend ships be at least 105 or so, just to be safe, and you should be alright. Make sure you bring your anti-air stuff, because this is a World 12 map. You're going to have that air superiority stuff. Anti-air carriers are going to be important here for that damage reduction. 12.1 is a very good map. 12.2, 12.3, I'm going to skip these because these are in-between maps. Obviously, 12.1 is more efficient for cog chips, but 12.4, which I'm talking about later, in depth, is going to be more gold efficient. When you have in-between maps, I'm just not a fan of it. Either you want more cog chips or you want more coins. Simple, right? So we're going to kick 12.1, 12.2, and 12.3 out of the question. Now 12.4, I said this probably 5 months ago. This is a very good map because you get a lot of coins here, and it's probably the last easiest, or not easiest, the last easy map you're going to be able to do, because World 12 maps are very easy nowadays. So 12.4, 105 plus ships work here. If you're having difficulty, 110. That should be more than enough on safe mode. And then just farm here. This place gives a lot of coins, a lot of coins, better than any other map up until now. It's a very good place. It gives cog chips as well too. It's a good stopping point for a lot of players. So if you guys want coins, you want cog chips, it gives good EXP as well too. 12.4 is the ultimate stopping point for most players. It's because you're not at the stage of the game where you're running out of ships to use, so you can still play World 12. You're not at the stage of the game where you need cog chips, so 12.4 for a lot of you guys that don't need cog chips, or you want EXP, you want coins as well too, it's a good map. So that's 12.4. And lastly, the map I want to talk about is going to be 13.1. Now, 13.1 is a special case. I, in particular, am farming 13.1 as of right now. And now, I'm going to say this. So, someone in my Discord has informed me that you can do efficient farming at 13.1 for cog chips. And as of right now, it is probably the best map to farm for cog chips, assuming you can do a 1-to-1 setup. So I'm not doing a 1-to-1 setup right now. I was earlier, but I'm not doing it anymore. You can do like I believe it's like Aquila and Sandy, and that should do it for you. But sometimes it's risky, so you may have to toss in an extra ship. But for the most part, it's not that big of an issue. You might be slightly off cost efficiency, but if you can 1-1, then that's the best. That's really good. Otherwise, 13.1 is the best place to farm for absolute endgame players. Now, when I say absolute endgame players, what I mean by this is you're out of good ships to use. So that means when you're out of good ships to use, 13.1 is not that friendly of a map compared to 12. So you have to start using like the better ships available. If all you guys have left over that isn't maxed already are like junk ships, like for example, I'm going to show you guys right here. Well, not junk ships, but like stat wise they aren't that great. Like for example, like these ships right here, all these ships I have right now that aren't level 100 or 120 already, like they're not as like stat high compared to my SSR ships, which are majority as of right now all maxed out, then it's going to struggle a bit, right? You're going to struggle a bit when you don't have those quote unquote good ships available, because why would you want to keep using max level ships if you can use something else and get perma stats from them, right? Obviously that's the reason why. So 13.1 is apparently the best place for cog chip efficiency. So to do this, you do 1-1. I just do full fleets because I need coins right now. But if you can't do 1-1, there's a few videos out there. But basically, how it works is you use Aquila and Sandy 120 plus, preferably 125, just to be safe, and that should clear out the entire mob fleet for you. And then for the boss fleet, you just run whatever you guys want, just cap it all out, or just go for efficiency if you want as well too. It doesn't really matter that much for a boss fleet, but the mob fleet has to be at least a 1-1 setup. So Aquila, Sandy, and then whatever for mob fleet or boss fleet. If you can do a 2-1 setup, that'd be really good. Otherwise, just do the full fleet. It doesn't matter that much at the end of the day, but it gives really good cog chips. World 12 gives like 10 to 15 cog chips, but World 13 though can give like 19 to 27 cog chips. It's almost double the cog chips you get from World 12 to World 13. So it's a really, really good place to farm for cog chips, but it's not that good because you can just buy them, right? So 13.1, you farm this map because you're out of good ships to use. You need cog chips. So at this stage of the game, if you're like me, you're just running max level ships and just getting cog chips. Yes, I know it's inefficient, but you're at the point in the game where you need cog chips to progress. So without cog chips, it shouldn't matter who you level up, right? So that's why you want to go ahead and use max level ships. If you're using max level ships, then it doesn't matter who you're using, because you get more benefits the more oil over cap you are. And guess what, guys? UR ships cost the most in oil. So go ahead and toss UR ships if you guys want to. Now is a good opportunity. So 13.1, absolute players. If you guys have nothing to level up anymore, you have terrible ships left over, you need cog ships really, really badly, this is your map right here. You can just toss in all your meta ships or whatever, farm for days. It's going to burn out really quick because it's the World 13 map. So you probably play like an hour a day here, and that's pretty much end game for you guys. So the takeaway here from this video, the chapters 1 through 7 that you can show my other video. 8.4 is now not a good map to farm, so don't farm 8.4. Skip that. Go from 7.2 up to World 9. And now, when you're in the World 9 stage, if you're around 100 level ships or level 100 ships or whatever, you can use 90 as well too. Pick a World 9 map. I say World 9.1 is a pretty good place. It has a nice anti-air. It's pretty easy compared to other maps. Stick around here for a bit. Blast through World 10, it's not worth it here either. And try to get into at least 11.1. 11.1 is a good stopping point for just pure EXP. Get all the ships you want on EXP. And then when you're in the 110 zone, you're comfortable and stuff like that, you can start moving into World 12. World 12, again, 12.1, good cog efficiency. If you want cog chips more than coins, but you still want to level up some ships, 12.1 is better than 12.4. If you prioritize mostly coins here, then 12.4 is the better option. You want money, 12.4. You want cog chips, you do 12.1. Now, if you're past that point, you have all of your ships maxed out, you're low on cog chips, everything is maxed out at 120 or plus right now, and you're pretty much used to have max level fleets left over, right? 13.1 is the last stage of the game, and that's where you're probably going to retire in. You farm this map, try to do 1-1 setup, Aquila, San Diego, whatever boss fleet you want to do. It's cost efficient this way. You get a lot of cog chip drops compared to World 12, but again, it's still bad RNG on cog chips. It's like a 10 to 20% drop rate. It's very, very low. So that's end game for you guys. That's end game for me. Hope you guys enjoyed that video. If you have questions, feel free to ask me, and I'll see you guys in the next video as always.